Hey guys, it's Monica from onlineboutiqueboss.com. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having an amazing start to your new year, and I thought it would be fun to do a video in my inventory office because today's topic is about tagging your boutique clothing. And I'm going to be answering these questions all about this topic because these are all questions that you send me frequently and also you write them in the comment section of my videos, and I always appreciate those because that just tells me and lets me know what you need help on in your boutique business. So again, I always appreciate those. So I'm going to be answering common questions such as, should you be removing the branded vendor label on your wholesale products? Should you be putting your own label on? Should you do it yourself? Should you hire a company to do that? Should you remove the hang tags? Do you have to add your own business hang tag on your products? If you do, what do you include in that hang tag? Is it even important? Why is it important? So I'm just going to be answering all those common questions when it comes to tagging your boutique clothing. So with that said, I hope you enjoy this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. That would be awesome because I post videos all about helping you build your boutique business. So yeah, let's get started. Now, to answer your first question on should you be removing the branded label on your wholesale product. So this is the branded vendor label, this is the hang tag, this is the product. Should you be removing this yourself? And the answer, in short, is no. You should not remove this label yourself for a few reasons. Number one, first, you need written consent from the designer, the brand, the vendor, the owner of this design and product to be able to do so. Now, there are some vendors that allow this process, and that is known as private labeling, which I will talk a little bit more on next. But again, do not remove this yourself. First, the second reason, which is it's time consuming. You don't want to sit here and remove all of these labels and sew in your own logo brand. That's just going to take too much time. And when you are a solopreneur, you're doing it all yourself, you're just starting out, your time is so important. You need to manage your time well, and you need to be efficient with your day. You need to be productive with your day. You need to get things done, and this is just going to take you too much time to do so. Also, you don't want to risk removing it and potentially damaging the product, putting a hole in it. I mean, something can go wrong, and you don't want to damage the product that you invested your inventory budget into, okay? Now, let's talk about private labeling. Private labeling is a service that is offered by some vendors, brands, and wholesale manufacturers where you, as your own brand and business, can put your logo and label on wholesale products. Now, how this process works is a few ways. So you can reach out to the vendors that you're currently purchasing your wholesale products from and ask them if they offer private label services. Some of them, again, do, depending on that vendor. Now, the reason why is because many vendors actually have their own, they manufacture those products and they have an umbrella of different labels and names and brands under their manufacturing company. So during this process, they will either charge you a fee per item that you add a label to. There may be a minimum amount that you need to purchase in a single style, or a minimum amount of labels that you need to send to them. So again, some vendors will either require you to get your logo and label made, send them the logo and label, and they will go ahead and add and remove the current vendor label and put your logo on the products. Or in some cases, some vendors will offer the entire private label service where you can send them your logo design and they will go ahead and create that label, remove the tags, and put your brand on that product. Now, before you consider this option, I want you to think about a few things. There are some mixed opinions on doing private labeling. Now, private labeling is offered in many different industries, not just clothing, boutiques. Private labeling is happening in makeup, in accessories, in a ton of different categories. It's a very common service. Now, when it comes to your business and your brand, private labeling, again, there are those mixed opinions because it can come off as dishonest, right? Not genuine to your customer, to your loyal customers, your followers, the people who are purchasing your products. Now, my opinion on this is actually, let me go back. And when I first started my boutique many years ago, when I first found and just knew about private labeling, I thought that that was an awesome thing, right? I could put my logo, my brand on the products that I'm selling. I thought that was awesome. Now, as I grew my business and I started to grow my brand, I realized that for me, it's just not something that felt right for me, because if I didn't have any say-so in the design, in the decision on the fabric, the cut, the pattern of that product, and I wasn't working hands-on directly with that manufacturer, I don't want to put my name and branded logo on this product because I didn't honestly have anything to do with that process. Now, if you did, then I feel like that would be okay, right? You were hands-on with that design process, so it would be honest for you to put your label on those items. You also want to keep in mind the cost, right? The cost that you're adding on each individual item. So the cost of goods sold is going to be higher now. You have to think about your margins. You have to think about, okay, now your price point. Where does all this additional cost fit in with your margins and your price points of your products? So does that positively, is that going to affect your overall pricing and expenses at the end of the month? Definitely will, so you want to think about that. But again, that's just a little detail on private labeling in case you were curious. Now let's move right along back to the product and let's talk about the hang tag. So this guy right here. So the hang tag, you absolutely want to have your own hang tag. You can remove this. This is the vendor hang tag, and this is so that you can add your either your price point, right? Your barcode, your price point label here. So if you have a storefront or you do pop-up shops, you need something where the customer can see the size, can see and clearly see the price of the item. Now there are another few reasons why you want to have your own hang tag, which I'll talk about now. So here are a few different examples of the hang tags that I use for my own clothing boutique over the past few years. And as you can see, there are tons of different sizes and styles and designs that you can really be creative with. And that's most important, is that you stay true to your brand, your aesthetics, and the overall theme of your brand. And the reason why it's so important to have your own hang tags is, number one, you want to leave a lasting impression on your customer. When they open their package, you want them to remember that this is the boutique and brand that I purchased these items from, and I want to go back, right, and continue shopping from them. So it's all about leaving that lasting impression and just having your customers remember your boutique and brand. And paying attention to the smallest details makes the biggest impact. And that goes for your entire packaging as well. And I do have a video coming very soon on packaging and branding, so stay tuned for that one. But again, this is your chance to get your logo, your brand, and really make a statement. And so that's number one. You want to have your own logo on your hang tag, very important. Now, what you want to include onto it, you have a few different options. You can keep it simple here. I like to have a barcode, again, when I do pop-up shops, and also when you get to a point where you have a larger amount of inventory to keep track of, you can scan that barcode. I do talk briefly in my how to keep track of your inventory video. I talk briefly about barcodes, so I'll leave that below if you want to reference that video. Now, what you also want to consider is adding your social media information here, any other information that is going to be that's important for your boutique and brand, and it's kind of like a strategy for you to leave, again, that lasting impression. So you can have a quote that is relatable to your boutique, as long as it's not copyright, and your website and your Instagram or Facebook. So you can also do that as well. So I've just played around with different sizes when it comes to my own hang tags, and to actually tag them on your product, you have a few options as well. So let me just show you here. So this is a pricing gun, and what you want to do is you can simply see the little needle here. You can, what I like to do is actually take the hang tag. I do recommend having your hang tag, is the word of the day, is having them already pre-hole punched. And this is something that is offered by most of the companies where you can get these printed. So I will leave all of the details to all of these products and supplies. If you need to reference those, I'll leave them in the description of this video. But yeah, definitely invest in the small costs that it takes to get these already pre-hole punched for you. Just, again, it's all about saving time. So what you want to do is you want to either get a pricing gun. Now you want to get the thinnest needle that you can possibly find, because the thicker the needle, that means you're going to, you're putting a hole in the label, in the product, so you don't want to damage the item. And you can also find these little fasteners. There's different sizes of these tag fasteners, and you're just going to put that here. And what I like to do is, because again, you're putting a hole in the label, is if there's an existing hole from the vendor hang tag, you can put it there, or you can go at the very, very corner. I'll show you a close-up. You can go in the very corner of the label and put your hole punch there, so it's not too big of a hole on the actual label. Now, I prefer, this is a great option because it's super quick. As you can see with this label vendor hang tag, they use a safety pin. And that's going to take you time to add. And I know this from experience because I had some very cute like yarn or twine that you can kind of twist and do it all together. But again, that just takes so much time for you to do that. So let me show you another option here. And that is these. Can you see that? These little fasteners. So if you just, again, let me do a little demonstration for you. So you can just put the right through there, and you're going to put it on your label, and you're just going to close that together. Super simple. You're done. There's no scissors. There's no tying in a knot, and it's very simple. Now, again, there's different sizes of these fasteners here. There's different colors that, again, may fit in with your brand and your products. So I'll leave a few options down below. Also, with the barcode here, I like to, again, add my barcodes. I use the Dymo label writer. I'll link it for you guys, and add a barcode price tag label on my hang tags. One more thing I want to mention about this style of fastener is because you're just looping it through the label, you're not actually tagging a hole in the label, so you're not, damaging the product or the label, and that's another reason why I prefer this style. Now, if you are going to use a fastener, a tagging gun fastener, what's very common is you can also, depending on the weight and the thickness of your fastener, you can put it right in the inseam of the item. That's another option. But it's totally up to you. Another reason why you want to have your own hang tag is, one, it looks professional, right? It looks just overall like you, even if you started your boutique, and I say this all the time, even if you started your boutique yesterday and you pay attention to the tiniest details, like your hang tags, it's going to take your boutique up another level and look so much more professional, like you've been doing this for years, right? Like you're an established brand, and that's so important to the your overall business. And also for your return policy, you should have some sort of return policy on your website, whatever that may be, if you do exchanges or returns. But part of that should be where, in order to return or exchange an item, the product needs to have the existing tag attached in order to get that exchange or return, so that people don't just wear something, you know, and return it. So that's just a common practice in online stores. All right, I think that is everything when it comes to tagging your boutique products. I hope you found this video helpful. I know how stressful and overwhelming it can be when you're just starting your business and all these small details come up, and you know, there's just so many questions, but I am always so happy to help you start and grow your boutique, and I always appreciate your comments and topic ideas on my videos. Now, what I wanted to share with you is something so exciting, and I have been working on a little mini course all about getting your boutique and launching your online store, all the steps that you can take to launch your online boutique and really get started with your business. So if you would like to join us, I will leave the early bird waitlist link down in the description of this video. I would love to continue helping you with your boutique. So with that said, thank you guys so much again, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.